I am excited for this one today. Obviously, you know by the title that today is the draft here in year 2. But before we can get to that, we've got a fast track player lock moment here, and it's all about redemption. Because today is a second chance at fast tracking Lenyn Sosa. We had our chance the first time around a couple episodes ago. I remember making an out on a perfect swing, and then I drew a walk. So we ended up 0 for 3 with a walk and that perfect out. And it wasn't enough to get us the boost, and I was kind of devastated. But in the time since, Sosa's been having a pretty good go of it down in AAA. The average is up over 300. The OBP's almost at 400. And he's progressed himself up in overall point. Now, don't forget, Sosa actually spent a decent amount of time up on the big league squad back in year 1 of this March to October. Made his way into 41 games. He got almost 150 at bats. Didn't really put up great numbers, but he was never expected to. But this is why I wanted to succeed so bad the last time out with him, is he's only 25 years old, 64 overall, and see potential. Those last two things I mentioned don't seem that great, but the fast track today gives him a chance to improve both of those things very fast. If we can succeed with him, he'll get a massive boost to his contact, vision, discipline, and then a plus 1 or 2 to everything else. He'll get up to somewhere between a 68 and a 70 overall, is at least what I've seen, and that potential should go up to a B. But then on top of that, the game would probably give us a call-up opportunity. So at that point, he'd be a 70-ish overall B potential with a massive boost. We'd have a chance to call him up, which then that subsequent player lock after the call-up would give him another chance to get an attribute boost. And if we succeed both times, we could be looking at another young mid-70s overall shortstop prospect in the system. And I'm pretty sure last time we had this chance in real life, I don't think Sosa was up on the big league team. I don't think he was on the White Sox. But in the time since, he's gotten called back up. And from what I've seen, he's put together a really nice week of baseball. So maybe he's finally got things figured out, and maybe that'll transfer over into our universe. But I should really stop stalling. We've got enough to do today as it is. So Lenyn Sosa's second chance. Let's get it underway. And it looks like we're facing another righty, because of course we are. All right, so it's pure focus today. No distractions, no talking even until the outcome of the at-bat has happened, except for the fact to point out that the other team is wearing the White Sox jerseys. We've seen uniform glitches down in the minors before, but I don't know if I've ever seen this one. Is this supposed to be an intimidation tactic here? They're wearing our big league squad's jersey against us. Also, the wind's blowing in from left, which that's also a shame. Okay, there we go. Solid first plate appearance there. We work a 7-pitch walk. Now, obviously, we know from the past, and even just the past with Sosa, that one walk is not enough to secure the boost, even if we do, like, come around to score. And we're not going to be coming around to score. All right, AB number 2, and it's already the 5th inning, because of course it is. That's how it works. We've got no hits on the board. Dude, I'm way too amped up here. That's a couple of times I've been too far out in front of fastballs right down the pipe. Ooh. Oh. Oh my God. Slow the bat down just slightly. I mean, it was another long at bat. We have nothing going on offensively today. Maybe they give me credit. Well, now we have something going on. We put up 4 runs. We ended up putting up 4 runs after I struck out that inning. All right, well, at least all those runs means we get another at bat sooner, and this dude's still out there. Look at this last at bat, man. 8 pitches. We've seen 15 total. That's got to count for something. I timed it up and I went too far on the PCI. I had the right idea and I overcommitted. All right, we get maybe what will be our last chance here. 8th inning, tie game. And it's Nate Pearson on the mound. Are you serious? I guess he's not really as high of an overall as I thought he would be, but 80 hits per 9, the hard fastball. Actually, we do have a runner on second, so it's whatever his clutch rating is, but that's still a small PCI. And of course, I did the exact same thing. I saw it, I moved the PCI up there, and I move it too far. We just failed again with Sosa. Yeah, unbelievable. So much going right, too. We had a great first plate appearance drawing the walk. The second one, we drew it out, and I just got fooled by the outside fastball. And then 2 at-bats in a row having the right idea. I mean, it's just... The frustrating thing is it feels like we found the answer. The answer is just to play these player locks when it's not the beginning of the episode, but it just keeps falling that way, that the only way it makes sense to work is to start the episode with the player lock, and then it doesn't go well. And yet we get the negative momentum from that too. That knocks us down pretty much to neutral, and I would assume we're going to be simming until the draft here. And yep, there we go. Well, I'm gonna have to push the disappointment aside fast here because we've got something else to focus on. And the only way I can focus properly on the draft is if once again I dress for the part. So let's see. Yep. Now I'm ready to decide the future. All right, so before we actually start, I'm heading in, and I'm going to spend some time here going over who we've scouted, add them all to our list. We've got the 30th pick in round 1, so we're picking last, but we do also have the 34th pick. I don't exactly know how. Some kind of competitive balance round. I'm not really sure what that would be for, unless it's something that was already set from the real-life White Sox. I'm not sure. But I mean, we see our guy right here. This is who we want. If he can fall all the way down to me, I have serious doubts that he will. If we know about him, surely somebody else knows about him, and if 29 other teams have the chance to take him, I'm sure one of them will, but we can still hold out hope. All right, I think I'm good to start the draft. I didn't fill out like the entirety of what my draft queue would actually be. Most of these are just for our first 2 picks of the draft, and they're pretty much all starting pitchers besides Andreas Pinto. I guess it just happened to be the way everything worked out. Seems like everybody we scouted that's like projected to go around where our pick is, at least that we know of, that we've actually scouted, they all seem to be pitchers. So if Pinto's gone, we're most likely going to be going starting pitcher. We might even be going 2 starting pitchers since we have 2 picks so close to each other. But let's go ahead and get things started here. We've got 30 picks still to sit through before it's actually my turn. So let's go. Let's get things going here. 2 of the top 3 picks are going to division rivals. First one is the Tigers, and they're going with Everett Burks, left fielder that I didn't scout at all, but the general consensus was he was going to be the 6th pick, so maybe they reached a bit. And the 2 pick, it's going to be not Andreas Pinto. This is another dude we knew about, starting pitcher, projected to go high, and he did. All right, so then this is the last of the 3 that show up specially like this. The Royals went with another pitcher of their own. This was the dude that was ranked number 1, both by the rest of the MLB and by us, and we had him 100% scouted, so I kind of trust that. All right, and now we sit and wait. I still wish there was a button where you could just like instantly have the next pick be made instead of having to wait 10 seconds every time. We have a second baseman taken now that isn't our guy, so that's a good sign. Ooh, and this dude, I wrote off scouting him after I did 1 week of focusing on him, and I didn't think he looked all that good, and he goes 13th overall. All right, we're going to be halfway to our pick after this one, and still a lot of my top picks are on the board here, because this Johnny Castro dude is a good-looking pitcher also. Dude, we're starting to get close here. I'm getting more and more nervous with every pick because it's feeling more and more likely that he could actually fall all the way down to me. There was part of me that was just kind of writing it off like it wouldn't happen, like he'd go top 10, but now we're on pick 23 and he's still on the board. 3 more picks, guys. 27, 28, and 29. You just gotta make it 3 more picks, Pinto. The Cubs are totally gonna steal him. Oh no, the Yankees stole him from me. No, we made it way too close for you to take it away from me now. Oh man, that is disappointing. I really, like I said, I thought he was gonna go top 10. And then he just kept not being taken, so it kept getting more and more real. All right, well, this Johnny Castro is at the top of my board. He looks like a good pitcher, 18 years old. He'll have a pretty solid starting overall, probably in the 60s. Looks like he could be a solid B potential. He's got an interesting pitch mix. I don't know if I'd say it's good. I don't really know how a running fastball works. I do want to take a look around, though, before I just automatically take him, though. We've got 3.5 minutes. The only other one I'd really think about is this Jimmy Hernandez here, third baseman, but I only have him scouted to 35%. I don't know how that happened. I feel like I'm so thorough when I'm setting up my scouting, and then every time I go into a draft, it's like there's some players that intrigue me now, but somehow I missed and they slip through the cracks and I don't scout them as much as I'd like to. So I don't know for my first pick if I can take somebody that I know so little about. The only one out of everybody also that is ranked higher than Johnny Castro is just this closer dude. So everything points to taking Johnny Castro here. According to our scouts, he's the number 8 talent, and we can pick him up all the way down here at pick number 30. So after giving one more look around, I think this is who I'm going to take here. Another starting pitcher. Johnny Castro. It is nice, if anything, if nothing else, to get lefties. That's always a nice thing, I feel like. And now we've got a quick turnaround for our next pick here. And since we did pick a pitcher, I'm kind of leaning towards not picking a second one. So I might be taking a risk on somebody that we don't know too much about. Yeah, and we're on the board, Ryan Howard. But yeah, I could go with a pitcher that I do know about. But yeah, I could go with more pitching that I know about, that I have scouted. We've got a couple more dudes, you know, that we at least know what they're looking like. Another lefty here too, for what that's worth. But I don't know if I just want to go starting pitcher all the way down. I kind of want to take a risk and take somebody else who's going to fill a different hole. But these two guys that I at least know a little bit about, it's such an uncertainty. Both of them, their hitting has the potential to be very bad. You know what? Screw it, man. I'm taking a risk. I'm gonna go for it. I feel like I normally play it safe. I always play it safe. So for once, this high up in the draft, I'm not gonna play it safe. We're gonna take Jimmy Hernandez here, the third baseman that we only have scouted at 35%, and he can be anything. He can be as low as a 69 potential, but as high as a 97. No idea what his starting overall is going to be, but I want to go for it here. I want a position player, and this is who we're going to take. So Jimmy Hernandez, guess it's time to prove yourself. All right, now we got a while to wait to settle down before our next pick comes up. All the way to pick 69, we got to wait. And all right, it's our pick once again here, and from pick 61 down, there was a decent amount of guys on my radar that all got picked. But even with all that, I'm actually still left with a choice between the two players that I think I wanted above everybody else. But the one I'm going to take here is Angelo Ayala, center fielder here, who we have scouted at 90%. His consensus rank and our rank is the same. We have a pretty good idea of what he should be. He should be a B potential. At least you'd hope it hits in the B potential range. He can play the outfield as well as second base. His starting overall is going to be decent enough, and we know his contact at least is going to be above the rest of his attributes hitting wise, and he's going to be having some speed. So, and I think the reason I'm going to go with him over the two starting pitchers actually that I was looking at is both of these pitchers, their consensus rank is down further. This dude's 112, and actually Waylon Merrifield here isn't even ranked. So I'm hoping that they have a better chance of falling to our next pick. But even if they don't, I think Ayala is the one that I want to go with here. So that's going to be our pick here. Angelo Ayala. We're going another position player. Oh, and I was just about to talk about Gilberto Nieves here. We focused in on him a while back, and I might have jumped the gun comparing him to Acuna. I don't know. If he was still on the board, though, I definitely would have thought about it. It would have been very tough to pass up on somebody that you know is going to be starting out with power in the 60s. And we're back on the board, so the only one we're left with then was Waylon Merrifield, the unranked guy who we have 100% scouted and ranked as the 60th talent. So if we can trust our scouts, this would be quite the steal taking him at 105. But what I really like about him is the fact you know his stamina is going to be at least an 87. I know from experience that for whatever reason, stamina is not a rating that gets better. Actually, I gotta stop talking here because they didn't give me as much time on the clock. I'll just go ahead and pick him because I know I'm going to pick him anyway. But the other thing about him that I didn't get to is he had a 5-pitch mix that I liked. And hopefully with the thought of, fast track player lock situation down the line, that would get his per nines up. But as long as that stamina is good, then I like the guy. And all right, we're on the clock for our next pick. Pretty sure I'm going to go with another starting pitcher here, Charles Forrest, another unranked guy, but we have him ranked up at 91, which again, if we can trust our scouts, scouting him 100%, picking him at 135 would be a pretty good pick. Not really much special going on with him besides the fact that for some reason his walks per 9 is a strength, but his control is a weakness. But solid enough pitch mix, another lefty arm. Hopefully that's another solid pick up there. All right, we're coming up on my next pick here, and we have a couple more unranked guys that I kind of wasn't going to let myself convince myself into earlier, but now that they're still here, I don't know. And I don't know which one's more intriguing because Joel Rosales here has the potential to be a decent potential, but Chris Roca has the potential to have a really high starting overall right away. Like 66 is the lowest he can be. It's just he doesn't really have a good potential. So he'll be what he is, and that's just what he'll be. But it looks like we have our choice between the two. And you know what? I think I'm going to go with this Chris Roca here. For one, he's got a higher stamina, but I'm thinking maybe with how young he is, even if his potential's not great, if he's like a 70 something overall, pitching in like AA and dominates, maybe the potential goes up. So I'm going to take him. We're going to go another starting pitcher, and we only have what, one more pick? And we've made it to our last pick, and Joel Rosales is still there. Thought about taking him last pick. According to our scouts, it would have still been a good pick last pick, and now he's still available. So I think this is the easy pick. We'll make Joel Rosales Mr. Irrelevant here. The 195th and final pick of the draft is going to a guy that our scouts say is what? A third round talent at the 86th rank. Not a bad way to end the draft on a guy that you know is at least going to have 76 potential. And there we go. Our second draft in this White Sox March to October is in the books. I guess all we can do here is exit it. And now we're just back into simming and now back into the signing draft picks process. So I think I'm just gonna at least make an attempt to sign everybody that we have scouted fully at 100% here. Johnny Castro at our number 1 pick. The lowest we can offer him is actually higher than he would be asking himself. So I guess I'll just try and make this offer and see if he accepts. He does. Oh no. Oh yeah, I don't know what I saw there to make me think he declined, but here he is. Our number 1 pick, Johnny Castro, officially signs right after the draft. All right, we also had Wayland Merrifield, 100% scouted. He wants 480. That's the same as the least we can offer him, so I'm going to do the same thing and just offer him that. He's declining. All right, so we'll have to put in a little bit more effort for him. Little greedy, though, for a guy not even ranked in the top 200. All right, we'll try and go after our 5th round pick next. And our offer... the minimum is way more than he would want, so he should be accepting. Right, there we go. Now our 6th round pick, we also have him 100% scouted. I guess there's really not much harm in at least bumping it up 1 above what his initial demand was, and he's still gonna decline. Another guy not even ranked in the top 200, and he's declining. All right, and then our last pick, Joe Rosales, who, man, when you put these 3 all up against each other, just from the information we see here, you could make the case that Joel Rosales is like the best of the 3, just based on the potential and starting overall. But I'm going to do the same thing for him. I'm going to bump it up just the 1, see if he accepts, and he does. See, he knows. Then I guess I may as well. I mean, we have him 90% scouted, so we know what he's going to be. No real surprises are going to come from that last 10%. So I'm going to try and sign our 2nd pick, Angelo Ayala here. We've got plenty of bonus allotment left, so I'm just going to bump him up to 60% interested. See if he signs that one for 1.3, and he does. So now we can just fill up our board with everybody who has yet to sign, and I probably should bump Jimmy Hernandez here up to priority 1. And I still don't really know what the bonus allotment money is. Like, if we save money here, is that money we can use in free agency? It's also only $4 million. But I don't know. I'm not even going to offer to Hernandez yet just because we know so little about him. We can scout him a little bit more. And if it turns out he sucks, you know, maybe we try and offer him less and less money. And then, you know, we'll go from there. But we'll advance. We might even get back to this because it's only a 2-day period of waiting until the next chance we get to sign him. Or not. It's going to be time for a game right away. So this will be a game against the Dodgers. We have a 3-2 lead to hold on to, and I think that'll just be how we go ahead and start next episode. This one was all just focused on the draft anyway, so I'm not going to bother moving any further on into the season in this episode. So I know we don't know exactly everything about them yet, but if you have any thoughts about my draft, make sure to let me know. As always, do me a favor and hit that like button if you enjoyed today's episode. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you've been keeping up with the series. But again, guys, thanks for watching another one today. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you next time.